We're now talking with Zak Baris on the Unhappy Hour Sports Show. Cleveland Cavaliers, Dwyane Wade reuniting with LeBron James at last. It feels great as a Cleveland fan to know that Miami, air quote, fans are now watching Dwyane Wade in Cavalier jersey. It's a little overdue in my opinion. But talk to me about this, because this is another feather in your cap, Zach. You've been doing our show for 6 years, and you called this Dwyane Wade to Cleveland story a long time ago. Hit reset on the timeline of this.
So this is something that we had already known. It was the day I said that Dwyane Wade would wind in a Cavalier uniform. Sooner than later. It would be this season. Sooner than
all right, hold on.
Off-season to get rid of him.
Hang on, Zach. I'm going to switch over to Skype. Your phone is cracking up a little bit. I'm connected over there. I'm going to call Zach back on Skype because he's having a little bit of difficulty with his audio on his side with the connection. Yeah, so we were talking about Dwyane Wade and the timeline of when this all started. You called he was coming to Cleveland, but it might have taken until middle of the season for the buyout, but it certainly sped up this
I was hoping it would be, and I think we witnessed the Bulls' approach. Like I said, the only reason why it would have waited till midseason was the Bulls' inability, to let him go out of his contract. The Bulls are very notorious for not allowing players, to sit there and eat the money. This is a team that was finally in the luxury tax for the first time ever just 2 years ago. It was a team that had never even approached the luxury tax. That's how the Reinsdorfs run their operation. That's how that's how Paxson and Foreman, run their team. That's how they do it. That's how they operate.
Right.
So I knew it was sooner than later, but Dwyane Wade willing to give back $8 million allowed the Bulls to pull the trigger. At one point, as of a week ago, they were asking for the full amount back. He said no, knowing that the Bulls wouldn't keep him on the roster, that anything that contributes to the Bulls winning this season is a deterrent to their future. They need to lose as many games as possible because, again, what do we always discuss in this? Either you want to be first or you want to be the worst.
Right.
And Dwyane Wade, you don't want someone like Dwyane Wade helping you win basketball games. Someone, even let's just say hypothetically, is responsible for 5 more wins than they would have had than they were going to have. That's a matter of going from 22 wins to 27 wins and jeopardizing your future lottery pick from going from the first pick to the 5th or 6th pick. It's a big difference in the NBA, as we all know.
Right. And we saw the Cavs do it after LeBron left. There was a couple painful years to bottom out.
And you have to. The Cavaliers bought out Baron Davis. Was Baron Davis more than an average contributor at that point? Yeah, he was at that point for the Cavs still. He had a great season with the Cavs, and as soon as they got Kyrie, they cut him.
Yeah.
Would they have been better with Baron? Yeah, but they knew they couldn't have Baron Davis because they need to be as bad as they could be.
So that's what the Bulls are done. They got rid of Jimmy Butler. They got rid of Derrick Rose. They got rid of Dwyane Wade. And
Derrick Rose has already been gone. They got rid of Rajon Rondo. The Bulls are cooked this year. The only reason why they signed Mirotic was because they needed to be above the salary floor. Which they're barely above now. I personally think right now they don't have a lot of future talent on the team. I'm not a big fan of Chris Dunn. Lauri Markkanen, an Arizona guy, he's not the next Dirk Nowitzki, and I'm willing to say that with confidence. However, I could be wrong, but again, I'm pretty confident when I say that.
Okay.
After watching Lauri in the tournament last year, nothing impressed me about him.
Got it. Well, let me focus back on Dwyane Wade for a second instead of the rest of the Bulls' steaming pile of nothingness, apparently. What kind of player are the Cavs getting back? We're not getting Jenny from Forrest Gump at the beginning of the movie. We're getting Jenny toward the end of that movie, and it's a different player with a different injury history. What are we getting?
Here's the thing, though. You're not getting Dwyane Wade, the 28-year-old superstar. You're not getting Dwyane Wade from 4 years ago in Miami, from 5 years ago in Miami. You're getting Dwyane Wade, who's still a very efficient player. That's the thing. Who you don't need to rely on 40 minutes a night in order for the Cavaliers to win. Anything you get out of Dwyane Wade is a bonus. He's still a very good player. He can still contribute. Don't forget, look at the teams that were going after him. Golden State, San Antonio, and Oklahoma City. 3 of the best teams in the NBA. Oh, and Houston, too.
And he ended up choosing Cleveland. Probably is a surprise to nobody. I mean, he's got the relationship with LeBron.
It's also the fact that, here's the thing. If he really wanted to win a title and he felt that he still wants to play, and the thing is he's still a very good contributor, and the Cavaliers have a ton of depth. Now, you've got a guy like Jae Crowder who can be at the 2, the 3, and even play the 4 if need be. You've got a guy like J.R. Smith now coming off the bench where he might be best suited for that role. Once Isaiah Thomas is healthy, this team is just loaded with talent, Brian. I mean, we haven't seen a Cavaliers team this deep ever. I'm not saying this is the best team, but this is the deepest team. And don't forget, what started out as a tumultuous offseason with the Cavaliers, of them losing, of Kyrie Irving demanding a trade, LeBron's going to L.A., all this stuff. Well, Kyrie Irving's gone. Isaiah Thomas will be playing, before January. You get Jae Crowder out of it. You get Derrick Rose out of it. And now you've got Dwyane Wade.
And
replace Kyrie Irving with those 4 any day. You've got that team. You're going to be better than you were a year ago. It is what it is.
Yeah, but we also got the draft pick, which now we got to figure out
exactly
what do we do here,
Brian. Exactly. The Cavaliers might feel that LeBron might go to them and say at some point this season, listen, I'm committed here for the future. Let's go and move this pick now. Let's go and move this. Let's go bring in a superstar. Here's the thing. I don't necessarily think getting a guy like DeMarcus Cousins is the answer for this team. The pace they're going to have to play if they get DeMarcus Cousins with Dwyane Wade is a very, very slow pace. I just don't know. I don't think so. Maybe they hold on to the pick and try to move it in the offseason, but don't forget the pick is always more valuable during the season, unless you get that number 1 or number 2 overall. But next year's a very talented class.
Right.
So, it remains to be seen what will happen. I think that pick, no matter what, will be very valuable. But if the Cavaliers feel like, they need that one push to get us over the hump, and they can trade for a guy who has a couple years left on his contract, then I think they go and pull the trigger.
Let me ask you this about LeBron. Can he re-sign right now if he wanted to? Or is that window closed?
I'm not exactly sure. I'm pretty sure he could sign an extension, though, if he wanted to. No. He could not right now, I don't believe, because he has a player option for next year, which he'd have to decline and then commit. So I don't think so. I could be wrong, but I don't think I am.
Yeah, because, if you're the Cavaliers and you've been burned by this ex-girlfriend before, it's going to be really hard to want to move that pick if you don't have some sort of assurance.
Yeah, I agree. I wouldn't trade it for someone who has an expiring contract. Now, the thing is, it's different. If you get a guy like Rudy Gobert back, it's a different story. I don't know how great of a fit Gobert is on this team, but here's the thing. God forbid LeBron does walk, you have a centerpiece to build around next year.
Yeah, and it comes down to contracts. And did you find it interesting when LeBron was talking to the media about – no, not about that thing. I'm talking about when he talked about
his intention to stay in Cleveland?
Well, okay, there's 2 things. That's my second question. My first one was about getting ready to give Kyrie the keys. What were your thoughts on doing that?
He was ready to give him the keys. That was the thing. This is your team now. I think Kyrie Irving is very stubborn, very set in his own ways. I think it's something – he was always a bit of an outcast. I think it's something we've always known. And Kyrie beats to his own drum. He does his own thing. He wants to be the man in town. And no matter what, even if LeBron was ready to give him the keys in Cleveland, it still wasn't going to happen. Kyrie was never going to have the keys until LeBron retired.
And that could be till he's 50 years old.
And that's the thing, too, is look, Kyrie, as ready as LeBron was to give Kyrie the keys, again, we all know it wouldn't have happened until LeBron retired just because LeBron's the most popular player.
All right, so maybe on that point of view, I can understand it, which would be good knowing that LeBron will be there for a long time. And so then the second question about LeBron answering about staying in Cleveland and not really wanting to go. So break that down, what he talked about his future.
Wait, can you please repeat that? I'm sorry.
Yeah, about LeBron during the press conference when he was asked about it, does he plan on retiring as a Cavalier, and what are the chances that he leaves as a free agent? He discussed that at the press conference a little bit, and you've been saying that he's staying in.
Like I said, I you and I have discussed off air that his son was personally visiting a couple schools in the area, and I know, because I know the people that gave him the tour, that he was looking at specifically the high schools. In a year from now, he's looking. So I specifically know where he was looking. I'm not going to say it, but I've told you off air exactly what I've heard and exactly what I've seen. I still tend to think he's staying in Cleveland. I mean, hypothetically, let's say this happens. Let's say Russell Westbrook signs his extension. We could get a very clear answer of what's happening next year very, very soon. One of the rumors is that he teams up with Russell Westbrook in L.A. and goes and plays with him and Lonzo Ball in L.A. and Brandon Ingram. That's one of the rumors. Okay, we could shoot down that rumor as soon as Russell Westbrook. We'll know in October. Russell Westbrook has till October 16th to sign that extension. We will know if he's staying in Oklahoma City Thunder if he signs that extension. If he does not, we all know he's as good as gone to LA or the Knicks or to New York. We know that. That's just Russ. So October 16th, we'll get a much better feel of where LeBron is going. Because, again, if Oklahoma City has a great year, Houston has a great year, and Chris Paul decides to stay in Houston, don't forget, Chris Paul's a free agent next year. The Cavaliers can somehow acquire Chris Paul next year as well to bring him on board.
I mean, is there any chance Isaiah Thomas stays on board, or just
There is. If Isaiah's a great year, I just don't think wherever Isaiah Thomas goes, it's like Kyle Lowry this year too. Kyle Lowry was expecting a 5-year max contract, wound up with 4 years, I think $100 million, because nobody's going to pay a 31-year-old point guard.
So is that like Edwin Encarnacion?
Especially with Isaiah Thomas's fragile frame. I think Isaiah Thomas, if I'm the Cavaliers, I'd give him a 3-year max. I'm not going to sit there and give him 5 years. I think that's idiotic. And I don't think anybody else in the NBA is going to be stupid enough to do that either.
Well, we've seen a lot of crazy contracts over the years. At first Tristan was obnoxiously expensive. Then it was a steal. Now it's back to being
Brian,
obnoxious.
did I tell you at the time, though, the Tristan contract in a year, we're going to be looking on this as a bargain? Did I not say that at the time?
Yeah, but people are calling it a wasteful contract that nobody wants to take on in a trade. But we also heard
the Knicks just offered to take it on the other day for Carmelo Anthony.
Well, they gave away Carmelo Anthony for a bag of peanuts and
But here's the thing, though. No, Enes Kanter is a very serviceable player. He's a good player. And here's the thing, too. In Cleveland, people can insult Tristan all they want, but we would not have a title without him. And that's clear. Tristan was an integral piece to the Cleveland Cavaliers championship team. I don't ever hear anybody bitching about how many offensive rebounds he was pulling down in those games when they won that series in 7. I don't hear anybody bitching about it. People might bitch about him now because he's dating a Kardashian, and that's beyond. It's a whole other story I don't care about. However, Tristan was damn good when they won the championship a year ago, and he was damn good 2 years ago when they lost. And that's what I care about. He was a valuable piece, and he was very, very valuable for the Cavaliers in doing what he did in order to stop Draymond Green.
Right.
And his perimeter defense. Tristan's contract, you can't tell me guys like Alan Crabb, Evan Turner are more important than Tristan Thompson. They're making more money than. They're just not. Tristan is very valuable for what he does to Cleveland. Is he necessarily valuable if you need him to put up 15, 16 points a game? No, that's not what he does. Tristan's a perfect fit on this team, and you're not going to be able to find someone more perfect than Tristan.
All right. Well, I mean, the roster's starting to come together. We're starting to see who we got. Is Kendrick Perkins going to make the team? Or are we going to have that 7'3" guy on the team?
No, I think you're going to see Kendrick cut as of today.
Oh, wait, that just happened?
I don't know if it's been done already, but the Cavaliers had to get rid of someone. They had to get rid of a camp body today. So I think you'll see it being Kendrick Perkins. One of the things that Bobby Marks proposed, the former assistant GM of the Nets, is that the Cavaliers would save $10 million in luxury tax by trading Richard Jefferson, or release him because he has a non-guaranteed contract. So I think that's something that we might see now. It's not something I even noticed on there, but he said that today, and I think that's definitely a possibility.
Is that something where he could be released from the team and then re-sign again?
No, that's not going to happen.
Huh. Yeah, I mean, that would be pretty... I don't know, how confident are you that this roster can compete with the Warriors for a title?
The Warriors compete with the Warriors.
Yeah, for the title.
I think they're very. I think they're very confident. Especially, don't forget that number 1 pick from the Nets, or they have their own pick now to move as well in a deal. Don't forget that they now can trade their own pick instead of the Nets pick, so they can hold on to the Nets pick and go and trade their own.
What would that bring you?
Another valuable piece. Don't forget, they will upgrade this roster again at some point during the year. This is not a finished product. We're not looking at a finished product right now in Cleveland. If there are any holes on this roster, Kobe Altman will upgrade them. Look at this. Look, by the way, for all the shit he has taken, for all the shit that Kobe Altman has taken, from Griffin leaving, look at what an incredible job he's done to upgrade this roster in such a tumultuous time. Look at it. Look at how much, I'm not looking at the future right now, but even if you do look at the future, Kyrie Irving's gone. However, you have a potential top 3 pick. You have Isaiah Thomas, Jae Crowder. You've got guys like Cedi Osman. You've got some young pieces to move too. Jae Crowder is one of the best contracts in the NBA at $7 million a year over the next 3 years. He's one of the top 10 contracts in the NBA.
And so we might be able to trade for someone just based on the value of his contract.
Exactly. He is, and the thing is the Cavaliers have a lot of movable pieces right now. I really like the shape they're in. I think Kobe's done an incredible job to get them to be on a championship level. Not only are they better than the Boston Celtics right now, they're on a level where they can compete for a title again. And like I said, this is far from a finished product. They have a lot of movable assets that they did not have a year ago to go and upgrade this roster. I think Kobe, you're going to look out at, I think you're going to look to see that he has, that there's a decent chance he wins Executive of the Year this year.
Okay, let's hope that's the case.
I think we'll be looking at the Minnesota Timberwolves. Mm-hmm. But again, every time with the Timberwolves, they seem to disappoint. Every year they seem to disappoint. Yes, they do have Jimmy Butler and they added Jeff Teague. It remains to be seen. I think the Timberwolves are a much improved team as well. And I think Danny Ainge is going to be one of those guys who could be the Executive of the Year too. But again, Boston needs a lot to happen correctly. Getting Gordon Hayward is great, but their big 3 in comparison does not compare to the Cavaliers in any way right now. Here's the thing is you look at Boston's roster with Al Horford, who's 1-16 career in the playoffs against the Cavs. Gordon Hayward, who's made the playoffs, I believe, once in his career. They got rid of Avery Bradley and Jae Crowder, their 2 best defenders. They brought in Morris from Detroit, who will be nice to have in the power forward position. But again, you're thrusting Jaylen Brown into a role where he's a second-year player. And like I said, very, very rarely do players make a positive commitment in their first or second year in the league. Very, very, very rarely. LeBron is one of the few players ever to do that. Dwyane Wade did it too. Carmelo did it, but it's very rare. Jaylen Brown is not anywhere near their level. Jason Tatum could be a great player someday, but don't expect big things out of Jason Tatum first year. Kyrie Irving was not known to, run the Cavs well on his own. I don't know if he does that in Boston. A lot remains to be seen.
I have a hunch that Kyrie Irving's going to get into it with Brad Stevens halfway through the year. I think Kyrie's going to play mega ball hog, and I don't think it's going to go well with the fundamental coach. That's my
we've seen Kyrie as the secondary option on the Cavs, and he's done a great job. We've never seen Kyrie as the primary. We've seen him as the primary option in games, but it just never translated to wins is the problem.
And maybe that was system-based, the way that LeBron
it may have been. We're going to see what happens with Boston this year. Now, granted, I think Kyrie's going to go off and have a ridiculous game against the Cavs in the opener because he's going to be trying so hard. And I think, but I'm not saying Boston's going to win that game. I think it's going to be very emotional for the Cavs having Wade and LeBron together. And you're going to see, don't forget how well LeBron played with Wade. I know they've been removed for a while, but I think you're going to see an extra motivated LeBron this year without Kyrie. And the big F you to Kyrie is going to be like, what the hell is wrong with you? What did you do? Look how good we are now without you. The Cavaliers have improved their depth. They've improved the backup point guard position. Supposedly, from what I understand, is Derrick Rose looks fantastic. right now. But again, it's still Derrick Rose. But, don't forget, he's 28. Again, he's not 40. He's not 35. He's 28. If they can get something out of Derrick Rose, then fantastic.
And it's even better if you only play him halftime off the bench. It's even better that you don't burn him out like Thibodeau likes to do.
Yeah, exactly. And I don't think you're going to have to see – that's another thing, too, is I don't think you're going to be seeing many of these guys taking days off. You're going to see games where Wade plays 8 minutes. You'll see games like that where, the Cavaliers will play these guys 15 minutes. Now with benching players now and resting players, you'll see a guy play the first quarter and they're out of the game. You'll see that on nights to get him in there. You'll see LeBron sometimes do that. You'll see him get his 10 points and he'll get out of the game.
All right. Man, well, I'm liking what we're seeing with all the depth. I'm certainly a fan of it.
And another thing is, too, on nights if LeBron does rest, you have a guy like Wade that can run the offense when LeBron's not in there, and suddenly the Cavaliers aren't getting, they're not getting clobbered. Look at their second unit when healthy right now. It's Derrick Rose, J.R. Smith, Jae Crowder. I mean, they are stacked from top to bottom right now, this roster. They are so deep.
So who is our big three? It's LeBron and Love and Wade?
It's LeBron, Love, and Isaiah Thomas when healthy, and Wade is an added bonus. Do I consider Wade to be a top 20 player in the NBA anymore? He's not. But Dwyane Wade is still a very good player when he's playing on the floor. He's still a very good player. Just don't want him jacking up threes. He's a slasher. That's what you want him doing.
All right. Well, good.
I think it's a huge asset. The Cavaliers still got a top 40, top 40 player in the NBA. Top 50, worst case scenario. You added another pretty damn good piece to this team. And also the leadership value brings. The guy's won 3 titles, and he's been, he's been the integral part of 3 title teams.
Does he retire after this year?
Let's see how the year goes. The Cavs going to win the title? I don't think so. And if he has a productive year, no way.
Okay.
But I think LeBron is much more pleased. We were looking at this just 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, and shit, LeBron's gone. Or a month ago when Kyrie Irving got traded, we were done. Done. He's gone. No future. And all of a sudden, it's okay. They've got this pick back. They're allowed to trade their own pick. They've got, Zizic, the center they got from the Celtics, is also a tradable asset. They have some pieces they can move. I think you're going to see Alton be very careful, but I think you'll see him reassess the situation, a couple months in the season, especially once Isaiah Thomas is healthy. With that March trade deadline, you'll see how they're doing. And if a trade needs to be made to upgrade the roster, he will not be afraid to pull the trigger. We've witnessed that so far. He reminds me a lot on the, of the Chris Grant thing and the David Griffin trade, where he's not going to lose a trade. This is not a guy who loses trades. We witnessed that with Chris Grant. He didn't lose trades. And, Chris Grant couldn't draft, but, and Griffin doesn't lose trades. This is something, a part of this organization, they wait for the best deal to come on. They're not trigger happy, just waiting to make a deal. Like we witnessed in
New Jersey.
in Brooklyn. That's the thing is like
Brooklyn.
We're not. Look at Paul George. Look at Kevin Pritchard in Indianapolis. In Indiana. Pulling the deal so quickly for no good reason on the Paul George trade, and you're sitting there going, why in the hell did they pull this trade?
Yeah. Yeah, it's tough to understand, but you're very right about Paul George. You're right about Paul George. You're right about what's going on with the Thunder and Westbrook. That those are going to be the dominoes that fall.
It makes you just wonder sometimes how these GMs act when they know they can get more than what they did. I mean, you can't tell me that it's just not even possible for some of these guys to do what they're doing.
Let me ask you this. What is the value of the Cavs' first-round draft pick? What could they get back?
Very high.
Why? I mean, because the Cavs are expected to be one of the top, one of the last picks in the first round. Why is it very high?
Brooklyn stinks.
No. Okay, so you didn't mean the Cavs number 30.
No, the Cavaliers, don't forget that pick is very valuable now because it's still a first-round pick. Teams value that. It's once the player's drafted, it loses its value.
Okay, I thought what you were saying is we have Brooklyn's pick and we have our first-round pick.
We do have our pick. The Cavaliers can go and move our own pick.
I was asking, what is the value of that pick? Were you saying that we might trade that one?
That's probably going to be 26 to 30. I mean, more like 26 to 29. But here's the thing. It's still a movable asset, and during the season, it's very valuable. for whatever reasons, teams still feel like it's a very valuable pick. I don't. I've never valued late first-round picks to be worth that much in the NBA. I don't. I'm one of those people. That's my mindset. Some GMs get all hyped up about a late first-round pick. I don't.
Right. Okay.
That's just never been me, Brian. You've known my stance on this for years. I take a very broad stance when I'm looking at players and I'm evaluating. And when you look, very few draft classes are putting up top-tier talent at 26 to 30. At most of that point when you're drafting someone right there, you're getting someone out of luck. Getting Jimmy Butler as late as the Bulls did in the first round was out of luck. It's not just a pure scouting. That's mainly because of luck as well.
Gotcha. Yeah, and you said specialists too. Like shot blockers or 3-point shooters. Specialists you can find there too. But not as many day-to-day players, cornerstones that you can build your franchise around. I follow. Okay. Well, Zach, let me ask you one last thing. Is there anything else about this team or any other dominoes you expect to drop now that Dwyane Wade's on the team and our roster is starting to really come together? Oh, wait, did I lose you? Zach, are you still there? Nope. It's been one of those days. What's up, Greg? What's up, Phil and Nick? What's up, Adam? If you have any questions, type them below. I'll try to mention them to Zach.
You there?
Yeah, I'm here. I got a question coming in from the message board. Remind us again, just in one sentence, why we do not want Boogie Cousins. What the problem with Boogie is?
Why would I not want Cousins? He's on a 1-year deal, and again, he slows the pace down considerably. You need to see how the pace is with the Cavs. If the Cavaliers are operating at one of the slowest paces in the NBA and they're doing a very good job of it, then Cousins is a great fit with this team. But if you're playing with a high-paced team, I don't think you'll see a Cousins acquisition at the earliest until the deadline.
I guess I was wondering the other day, too, if it's possible that the Cavs are going to try to play bully ball. I don't know if that's something that the Cavs have considered as far as a different strategy to take the Warriors out. But, to kind of return a little bit more to the Bill Laimbeer Detroit Piston days and bang down a little bit more if you get a Cousins.
Don't forget, this game now is built on shooting the three-pointer and fast-paced offense. That's what the game's built on.
So it wouldn't make sense to return to basics. You don't expect that?
Yeah.
Okay. Fair enough. Phil and Nick saying we're all in for 1 year. F it. Just move it out. All the chips in the middle for 1 year. What's the problem there for the franchise if they just cash in all their assets for one run? And what's the upside?
Then the thing is, you witnessed them all leaving. That's the problem. Okay, yeah. Are you willing to take the risk for a championship this year, even if you don't win it? Then you're like, okay, well, we just traded our most tradable asset. Now we've got DeMarcus Cousins a free agent, LeBron's a free agent, Dwyane Wade's a free agent, Isaiah Thomas is a free agent.
Derrick Rose.
Our whole teams are, all of our core guys are free agents. We're suddenly without this draft pick. That's the problem.
But at the end of the day, aren't we only going for championships? Isn't that the only thing that counts? And with LeBron...
Yeah, but you need to look towards your... Brian, the thing is, you can't mortgage your future completely. You can mortgage it partly. That's what you do. It's like in baseball when you trade a prospect. For a guy, like the Indians go out and they get long-term help. When they went and traded Clint Frazier and those guys, and Justice Sheffield, when they traded them, they got a guy that wasn't just there for a half season. They got a guy in Andrew Miller that was signed for two more seasons after last season.
Right.
So they picked up an asset, again, that they could move again if need be. You have to look at it as, okay, yes, we're mortgaging maybe 7 years in the future. However, what we're going to do is we're going to get a piece, and God forbid we suck. We can go again and move that piece for another, for more prospects. That's something we can do to a contender. That's why that's why I like it. That's why I like it. That's what I like doing. I don't like doing it for just these 1 year signings where the guy's going to walk at the end of the year. If you can get a significant piece that you can pick up that's going to be there potentially long term, you've made yourself in. That's how these teams do well with asset management with these players. And teams that don't do well and protect their assets and hold on to long term investments. That's why you see teams like Indiana being in the rut they're in now. You see teams that just didn't trade well, that didn't make good trades, that didn't sign, quality free agents at value. One of the things about having LeBron is they're able to get a lot of guys at value. Like Derrick Rose on a minimum deal, Dwyane Wade on a minimum deal. They're able to get a lot of guys at value that they wouldn't normally be able to get.
Exactly. LeBron is going to be the magnet as long as he's there. As long as you don't lock yourself into big Wally Zerbiak and Ben Wallace kind of deal.
I mean, here's the thing. If Cleveland wins the championship, hypothetically, let's say they go and acquire DeMarcus Cousins, they use the pick. Let's just go down this road and say they do. Then here's what happens. They acquire the pick. They acquire Cousins. They win the championship. Why are those guys going to all walk and go to different places if Dan Gilbert's willing to open up his checkbook going, let's go for another run, guys. I'm going to max you guys all out. Let's go.
Huh.
Let's say the Cavaliers beat Golden State in 6 and go, okay, we're going to do this thing again. We've got this thing. Now I've got DeMarcus Cousins signed to a max deal. I got LeBron signed to a max deal. I go and move DeMarcus Cousins if I need to again.
I got you.
It's all about having long-term assets. You don't want to just play for the short term. You sign these great veterans at minimum deals or low deals, mid-level exceptions to complement your roster out. That's how Miami did it with guys like Shane Battier, with Ray Allen. That's how they were great for 4 years, and they won 2 titles out of it. I tend to think the Cavaliers, are not finished. I know they're not finished, and this will not be the roster going into the playoffs. I know that. I'm 100% sure Altman will go and upgrade the roster again at some point during the season. Just wait till the buyouts happen. Let's wait till everything happens. But you'll see another upgrade of the roster coming soon.
Which Cavs players are most likely to not be here?
Say Richard Jefferson, Channing Frye, and Amon Shumpert, and Jose Calderon.
All right. Well, then we're on record. We got placed our bets on the little on the roulette wheel. We placed our bets, and we'll see who comes up. And I'm feeling a lot better, man. I'm feeling a lot better about the Cavs roster now than I was a month ago. You are absolutely correct about that. And I appreciate the insight into the Adidas situation, having been a scout like you were. You've seen a lot of stuff. You've heard a lot of stories, and it's all interesting information. So I'll tell you what, I have a hunch we're going to be talking about this stuff again real soon. So you let me know once enough has changed where we have some more to discuss on that story, and we'll pop it open and do a brand new show about that one, if that works. Okay. Good.
Okay.
All right. Well, Zach, any final words on your way out the door, my man? I appreciate it as always. If you're not following him on Twitter, he's at ZBaris. That's ZBARIS. What do you leave us with today? Maybe a prediction about what's going on with the tribe? A thought on the Indians?
I got my Indians playoff tickets wrapped up already. I got all 3 games for the ALDS. Let's just hope it's only games 1 and 2 though. But I got them. Let's just hope let's hope we can take it again to the World Series.
Absolutely.
I got my season tickets for next year already, so good shape.
That's very cool. Yeah,
I've got faith in them.
Something that happened with me, I went to an Angel game, and I ended up getting a ball full of autographs. I got Edwin Encarnacion and Trevor Bauer and Mickey Callaway and Greg Allen and, good times, man.
The one thing that pissed me off is Clevenger not being in the playoff rotation. I don't trust Tomlin based on what happened last night. I just don't trust Josh Tomlin.
Do you trust Brian Shaw?
What?
Do you trust
More than Tomlin, Shaw had a bad game. Don't forget, Shaw's also been used 80 times this year.
I know.
Shaw's used in over half of our games. That's another thing, too. It's going to happen when you pitch in every other game in a season. You're going to blow games. It happens.
It does. We just got to do it when it counts, man.
I don't hate Brian Shaw. I think he's had a great season. And you look at him most nights, and he's electric. But it happens when you pitch a guy 80 times in a season. He's going to blow some games for you. It happens.
That's true. And I think, having health is going to be the most important key. It kind of sucks. Bradley Zimmer broke his wrist, and Michael Brantley and Kipnis battling through their stuff. But it's good to have Andrew Miller back. And with this winning streak, there's something special about this squad. I sure hope that it's the first time I'm ever able to enjoy this cigar. I pulled this thing out. I've had this since 1997 when the Indians almost won that World Series.
I hope you've kept it in the humidor, Brian.
No, it's horrible. It's just sitting in one of those Chinese boxes with the balls that make noise. No, it's just
Is it as dry as can be?
Oh, it's going to be horrible. Yeah, I don't care. But
Brian, stick the thing in a humidor for a month, and it'll be great.
I have a hunch that a black and mild will never be great.
It's a black and mild. Okay.
It was from my freshman year in college. What do I know?
I didn't realize you were going to be smoking a black and mild.
Only as soon as we win the championship. Only as soon as we win the championship. So I just hope I sure get to go through that because it's just a reminder to me to not count your chickens before they hatch. How close we were. So we'll see how it goes. Anyway,
are you coming? Are you flying in for the ALDS at all or no?
At this point, who the heck knows? I will keep you posted. I know last trip was so hectic for the Browns opener and everything else. It was tough to meet up with everyone. So I will try to keep you posted next time I roll in.
We got to get a giant tailgate with the whole group this time. And, I live 2 blocks from the stadium. We should do a giant, pregame at my place if you're in.
All right. So party at Zak's place? Party at Zak's?
Yeah.
Yep. By the way, I don't know. I kind of lost the desire to hit that Cleveland Browns game against the Chargers now. Are you still interested in doing that?
I don't know. If we're 0-7, then no.
0-7, and it's turned political, and I can't just have a beer and have fun with it?
Yeah. I mean, that's how it's looking to me. Which odds are the Browns won't have a win by that point, and either will the Chargers. Who knows? We might win as 5,000 fans in an NFL game.
Wow. Yeah, I really lost. All the steam came out of my sail. All the wind came out of my sails on that one. So anyway, if I have a change of heart, I'll hit you up. If you do, you let me know. Otherwise, let's wait for some new details on this Adidas scandal. And as soon as we have some more interesting blockbuster signings, we'll bring you back in and do another show, okay?
Sounds like a plan. I'll talk to you soon, Brian.
All right, thanks for your time, Zach. Take care.
Take care. Bye.
There he goes, everybody. Zak Baris. Any questions? Any final questions? Babo? What's the comment, Phil? Sorry, I'm taking questions over here on Facebook, and I'm doing this over here for vid.me/TheNewAmericanMedia and for youtube.com/TheNewAmericanMedia. Click subscribe, leave comments in all these places. On Twitter, we're at American_media_. What's up, Jay? What's up, Chris? What's up, Phil and Nick? What's up, Jen? What's up, Greg? What's up, Adam? Tom? All you guys, Joey, Jason, howdy. What's up, Todd? You guys are all joining me now that I ended the show with Zach, but I'm going to post it in the Unhappy Hour. It's a private sports group on Facebook. Do a search for The Unhappy Hour Sports Show. And as long as we can confirm that you're either an Indians, Cavs, Browns, or Buckeye fan, we're going to let you in the private group as we march toward hopefully a World Series championship and another run at an NBA championship with LeBron James and the Cleveland Cavaliers. So, last chance. If you have any questions, type them below because I'm going to wrap this one up. That's Christopher Christophic's college nickname. Oh, okay. Thank you for clarifying that, Phil and Nick. Yeah. Babo? Am I pronouncing that? Babo? Babo. Babo? Anyway. Okay. Thanks for watching. Leave your comments. Link up. When you find good stories, share them in the Unhappy Hour. It's my favorite sports group online. It's better than ESPN SportsCenter. I love it. Okay, thanks, Phil and Nick. Thanks for watching. We'll talk with you soon.